So I believe what you're trying to do is not tell them what your team did, but why your team did that. So what you want your audience to do is imagine the activities that went into your design process and understand why those activities were performed and how that affected the outcome of your design. So imagine that the judges are little kids, right? And as you're speaking to them, at the end of each sentence, they're saying, why? Why is the sky blue? Why? And that is what they're saying. They're watching the presentation. They're going, okay, what's your point here? What are you trying to get across to me? So you need to make sure that each element of your presentation has that type of why in it. You're not just going through the motions of presenting things. That element has to connect with the judges and the reason that you're there. So if you don't have a why for one of the elements in your presentation, it really doesn't need to be there. So as part of your presentation, you need to ooze teamwork, because this is all about teams. And to be good at presenting and ooze teamwork takes practice, just like playing a musical instrument. So you need to practice your presentation many, many times. Practice it with friends, family, enemies. Look at yourself in a mirror and practice the presentation. Lock yourself in a closet. That's what I've been doing with this one, actually, at home, to not bother everybody. But these are 5 to 10 minute presentations. So, I mean, you're literally going to be able to get hundreds of practices, and you should practice, 50, hundreds of times before you've given your presentation at competition. And you need to be really comfortable with the material, right? The more comfortable you are, the more relaxed you're going to be, and the more your enthusiasm for the project is going to come through, and the more the judges are going to be engaged with your presentation. So you need to polish that presentation, and you need to practice perfectly. We talked about this a little bit at the last presentation. It's not just practicing, but practicing perfectly. Literally write out, type out. I mean, I have every word actually here that I want to say, all typed out, and just read through it, but read through it out loud. Read through it with the inflection that you want to have during that presentation. Now there's kind of another little trick that I picked up on that you can kind of shift your presentation technique a little more towards that out loud, and that's reading it out loud, but pretend you're reading a book to a little kid, right? Like, we performed finite element analysis on the structure of our frame. Yay, right? Now that's a little overboard on the inflection and the enthusiasm, right? But again, that's going to shift that presentation your presentation technique a little bit more towards that end of things. And that's again what's going to engage those judges. They're looking for that clear, vocal, dynamic presentation. Get with other teams. I know you guys were talking about fighting back and forth between Mini Baja and Formula, but get with other teams, go through the presentation, do a dry run. And the benefit of that, and it's beneficial, you're sharing ideas, understanding what's going on. Oh, wow, that's an interesting thing they're doing. But B, you definitely want to question each other, because you're going to be at competition and you're going to have questions from the judges that come up, and you're going to want to be practiced at answering those questions and answering them in a professional manner. You want to dress as a team. You probably don't have to be quite as uniform and flashy